So here you can see this image. In this example, you can maybe consider that all these individuals which are shown, this belongs to a university population, and the total population is, maybe say we have 1000 students, and you want to create a survey of say 200 students, and maybe say the population is heterogeneous based on the year of study. So you have some individuals who are freshers or in first year, you have some individuals in second or third year, and you have some individuals in final year. So you want your sample to be representative of individuals in each of these subgroups. You don't want your sample to represent any of these stratums weakly, or maybe over-represent some strata. So you want to select a study size of 200 individuals. So how will you go about it? So let's imagine that freshers maybe are 400, and out of these total of 1000 students, second year students maybe, for example, say that they are 300 students. Third years are say 200. So this becomes 7, 8, 9. You have 100 of final year. So if we calculate this, the percentage based on the total students, this becomes 40% are freshers, 30% are second years, 20% are third years, and 10% students are your final year students. So now you have to do a step-by-step process of proportional allocation. That is, your sample should be representative of all these strata. So when you are calculating the sample size, you will take first years, you will take 40% of 200. Second year students, you will take 30% of 200. Third year students, you will take 20% of 200. And fourth year or final year students, you will take 10% of 200. So 40% of 200 becomes 80. 30% of 200 is equal to 60, 20% of 200 becomes equal to 40, and 10% of 200 is 20. So when you select your sample, you will have 80 students from first year, 60 students from second year, 40 students from third year, and 20 students from fourth year. So your sample is now representative of the entire population, and as a result the sample becomes accurate. It becomes more accurate than a simple random sample which may underrepresent some stratum. So now your sample becomes representative of entire university population, and it represents each of the stratum. So this makes the sample more accurate in comparison to a simple random sample which may underrepresent or overrepresent some subgroups. So now let's talk about the next kind of sampling, which is the multi-stage sampling. So examples are the large scale surveys, for example national or countrywide studies. Maybe in a study you want to include individuals from all the states. So how do you ensure that your sample represents the entire state properly or not? So the population may be geographically dispersed, and a complete sampling frame becomes impractical. So you do sampling in stages, and at each stage a random sample of units is selected from the previously selected units. So sampling is done in multiple stages, and it continues through multiple stages until the final units are reached. So for example, you want to collect individuals from each state. So state can be divided into districts, which can be divided into blocks, which can be further divided into primary healthcare centers. These can be divided into sub-centers. Sub-centers can be further divided into villages, and villages can be further divided into individuals. So you will select some random districts as stage 1. Then stage 2, you will select some random blocks from those districts. Then from those blocks, you will select some random primary health centers, subsequently sub-centers, subsequently villages, and then from the villages, you will select the individuals on a random basis. So this is the multi-stage sampling where you do it in several stages until the final units are reached. So suppose the study involves just you have to study some districts, then you will stop at the district level. But if the study involves individuals, you will have to go till the individual level. If the study involves villages, then you can stop at the village level. And different random sampling techniques, which could be simple random, it could be systematic random technique or stratified random techniques, which can be used for collecting individuals at different stages. So now talking about the probability, which is proportional to the size sampling.